Hey, Horns, are you feeling all right today?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why?
Wow, I mean, you were just a little out of control last night. Like you were talking to a bar stool for a couple hours. Like, just a little concerned.
Okay, the Jeff that you saw last night, was he wearing a vest?
Yeah, I think so. Why?
Okay. That wasn't me. That's me from the framework. Evil version of me. Totally different person.
You're so fucking stupid.
Hello and welcome back in to the Bro Force Squad podcast. This is our review of season 5, episode 14 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. entitled The Devil Complex. Sounds like a episode of the Red Shoe Diaries from Showtime. I'm
Pretty
your
sure
host,
I've seen
Jeff.
a porn called that too.
That's exactly what I was going for. I'm your host, Jeff Hornacek. With me, as always, is the mad scientist, my partner, Brian Banner, to grade this episode as we do all of our TV episodes on our 4 criteria: the acting, the story, our favorite scene, and any theories going forward with the show. Brian, we'll go to you first. There's one guy who really stood out above the rest. So for acting, you're not going to stray from that, are you? You can't.
No, you can't. Look, DeCaster, he earned his fucking paycheck this episode. I know that you don't. He didn't do it split style where he was Leopold and Fitz like in the same time, like going back and forth. But he definitely played both people to a T. I mean, complete opposite characters. Having one that is just absolutely terrified of the other, and the first just knowing that was insane. And how they did it and everything, which we'll get into a little bit more in the story, was absolutely fantastic. He killed it. It's a shame that, honestly, I would watch a show just like that for 23 episodes.
Yeah. It's the only thing more impressive than the acting that Ian DeCasker does in the show is when you think that he's doing these scenes, like, not with himself there. Because the only person who can act as well as him in these episodes is him.
Yeah.
And it's pretty impressive. And it was also cool because the Fitz from the framework is one of my favorite characters ever on this show.
100%.
So to see him come back in a creative way, like a really creative way like this.
They brought him back like in a good way, not like a Grant Ward way.
Yeah, where like they keep shoehorning him in. Yeah, different ways. So that'll lead us right into the story, which for me, I think this was one of the darker Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes we've ever had. And then also one of the best acted episodes of the season.
Top to bottom.
Yeah, a nice little plot twist at the end. So what'd you think of the story of this episode?
I thought, like you said, very creative with bringing Leopold back and having him interact with Fitz, which ended up being in his mind, was very, very cool. And then Deke finally kind of coming out and talking to Gemma about, hey, you're my grandma. And then that whole dynamic, I really bought that. And then her still being there for Fitz, even though what he did was really, really fucked up.
It was so hard for me to see that end scene with Fitz and Gemma. I thought the story here basically showed us finally that the repercussions of the previous season are going to hit this team in a way that is going to change the dynamic forever. So for me, that was the kind of emotional part, was seeing Fitz just basically be like, you know what the worst part about all this shit that I did is that like
sorry.
I don't feel bad for it. And so it's going to be interesting the effects this has going forward. And that actually leads us into our third category, which is best scene. There were 2 that we talked before the show on this. You and I feel like this season has had so many great scenes, but they're spaced out in episodes where we immediately know, oh, that was the best scene, right?
Yeah.
So this one, it came down to 2 that we discussed. What are you going to go with for yours?
I'll go with that last scene between Deke and Gemma, where they're talking. They say the line about, it doesn't matter what foot forward you go as long as you're going forward, or something a lot smarter than what I just said. And then Gemma actually ends up getting sick from it, like going, holy shit, I'm meeting my grandson. That scene, and you're going to hate me for this, but Deke, the actor, actually did a really good job Really, the last couple scenes he's been coming into his own. But I thought that, or a couple episodes, I thought that this scene he actually did well, and I don't know how much of that was Gemma carrying him, but they worked well together. They actually had some good chemistry. And again, a very emotional scene with everything that she's going through with Fitz at the same time.
Yeah, as you were redescribing that scene, it actually gave me a great idea for a new theory that I'm going to bring up once we get to our next category.
I'll dog it.
But yeah, for the first time, maybe the second time in this show, this is my gamut of emotions for Ward's character this show. When he got knocked out with that hammer from Fitz, I was excited because I find his character generally annoying. At the end, when he was talking to Gemma, I said, okay.
Deke, not Grant
Sorry.
Ward.
Sorry, Jeff Ward is who plays him. That's why I was confused. Yeah, Deke. Then at the end, when he had the emotional scene with Gemma, I was like, all right, I kind of feel bad for laughing when you got knocked out by a mallet earlier. My favorite scene, of course, is the Ian DeCasticker showcase, where it's Fitz talking to Fitz. So we can go with the scene where he's operating on Daisy, but I actually like the scene earlier in the hangar when he comes down the stairs.
Yep.
And
That's
he's like,
the one that I thought of.
I'm doing what needs to be done. That reminded me, like, when you're at the bar, you and all your friends are blacked out drunk, and you're like, should I buy us shots? And you're talking to yourself, and the evil Fitz is the one like, yes, of course you should. And get well tequila also, because it's cheaper. That's the exact conversation.
See, that was you last night, except you were buying shots for the bar stool.
It
was an empty bar stool.
It was a Buffalo Bills fan. They've been through a lot. I wanted to help him out. On to theories. I got a lot here, so I'll let you rattle yours off, and then I'm just going to start launching these out of a cannon. I want to see your response.
Yeah, not a whole lot has changed for me. I think that something catastrophic is going to happen. I don't know that Daisy is going to actually destroy the Earth, but I think that her having her powers back is very significant. Something big is going to happen because she has her powers back, and you alluded to it earlier. And I may be taking one of yours, but I don't really care. This is going to fracture the team. This may be the beginning of the end.
Yeah. The line that I had, or maybe you said this before the show, was the Fitz-Daisy scenario in this episode, not quite Grant Ward level of betrayal and douchebaggery, but pretty damn close. And I don't know if they're going to be able to bounce back from that one. All right, a couple things I have. Will Fitz and Gemma make it? I don't know. I'm not sure. Because if this is the actual Fitz we have going forward, it's going to be pretty tough for Gemma to be married to a psychopath.
But she knows that in a future they have a daughter that has a grandson, so she may cling to that. And almost like, hey, things aren't good, so let's have a kid because that'll make it better.
That's true, and that actually leads me on to my next theory. Gemma throwing up in that conversation with Deke, she's pregnant. Fuck. Yeah, I got to give you the assist on that one because they played it as a comedic line, like, "Oh man, you just hate Deke so much, the thought of being related to it makes you vomit." But I think that's a pretty tactful way for the show to tease us that one. I'll give you at least the hockey assist on that one.
Yeah, I'll get the third assist. I'll take it.
And then one other thing, and Trend Pimp 1, I know you're probably listening to this. Give us your theory as always, because that's pretty much
way better than ours.
That's part of the reason why we do this review is to hear what you think about the show. But I have one. The Confederacy that was talking to Hale at the end, they're probably alien based, but they also said Hail Hydra. And I'm just going to say this, man. I'm going to give them a chance to win me over, but I am so and I know cut off one head, another one will come back. But I'm so
Two
fucking
will come back.
Whatever. I am so wait, you cut off one, two come back? There's always
cut off one, two grow back. It's like Medusa.
I'm just so sick of every time that we fucking beat Hydra in any capacity, there's no stakes behind it. Like at the end of Winter Soldier seemed pretty serious, and now there's just like more and more pockets of Hydra. It's insane.
Yeah,
These people are
it's kind of like trying to beat out world hunger. Like we feed some kids and then people are still hungry.
Great analogy comparing Hydra to combating world hunger. Brian Banner, as only you could do. And on that note, I think we should just fucking stop this episode. So for the Mad Scientist, I'm the Mayor Jeff Hornacek. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, Bro4 Squad, 3 words. Follow us on Twitter at Bro4 Squad and check out everything that we're doing, our squad blog and our Bro4 Squad Hall of Fame on our website, bro4squad.com. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week for the next episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Just defend your... I mean, I could. It's not worth effort, I guess.